attention with a view to provide solutions that will benefit humanity. From Lagos State, police apprehends fake medical doctor. From Kano State, government starts premarital health test, violators risk jail. On finance, no deposit charge until September, that's from CBN. On jurisdiction, multi-choice dispute tribunal's order on price hike. These are the issues we'll be looking at today when we return from this short break. Remember, you can join us on all our media platforms, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. Return after the short break.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Society Watch on Atlantic Television Network, and we are here to provide solutions to these stories. And joining me this afternoon on this conversation is a public affairs analyst.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure being
Good
here.
afternoon. Yeah. It's like I made your name so, interesting.
I don't know what less than that. Well, sounds nice.
Wow. All right.
The storyline. It's not that it's new in this space. I think somewhere in River State, maybe early this year or last year, a notorious fake doctor was also nabbed somewhere along the corridor between Rivers and Imo, and he had an outlet also somewhere around Obigbo. Some of these people always go to the outskirts where the monitoring team and pension in the last few years has been deemed so expensive. And persons or people who probably may not be able to afford certain medical services will also want to condition some of these unqualified, or call them quacks, to tend to profile temporary. A lesser number than that will probably have a near-miss testimony, and as a result of that, it will not be used as a parameter. It will probably, his accountability day has come and he has been apprehended. Also tells us that some of the agencies and some of these organ needs to do more in collaborative efforts.
Saying that the masses found it difficult to identify who is a fake medical doctor is a different thing. But according to earlier, that he actually has 2 trained nurses working with him, even though the other ones are amateur. So is it that the nurses could not identify who indeed is
persons who probably refer to themselves as doctors, that some of these qualified nurses will probably see that it's missing?
Or this particular set of nurses, they are not interested in lives, in safety, let's just say that safety, people's life is not a priority. What they
I'm not
go out
privy
for is more money.
I'm not privy to the terms of engagement with their MD, because if you consider factors put in place, varying factors, whether on economic ground or moral ground or institutional ground, you will see that it's like a cobweb kind of, because you want to see somebody who probably, I have a friend years ago who attempted to, he have passion for nursing, and he's intelligent in his right, and somehow he's gifted at a combination here, yield results. But there again, the schooling system here in Nigeria did not encourage him. He tried severally, failed. Jam messed him up, one issue or the other. Today in the UK, he most likely has gotten some of those qualifications needed with a very flexible, this thing, and pretend that you can business to try. You will not be in the city center. In Ikorodu, that place is a suburb of Lagos. And some of the perpetrators of this practice always go off.
This fake doctor actually carried out 2 successful operations. In other words, the patients didn't die. They are alive. So, and of course, you know that in our country, one of the problems that we are having in the health sector is the fact that they have a limited workforce because of a lot of doctors are moving out, seeking for greener pasture outside because of a conducive working environment and also the pay. So having these kind of persons that actually know what to do practically, because a lot of persons do not know the theoretical aspect, but they know the practical very well. Do you think it will be of essence to government to actually, maybe after the punishment, help these people, put them in the right track to now learn it and do it legally? Or should they just send them to prison?
No, that's how it is obtainable. Retired Major General Buhari. Change the prison system from bearing the prison name to correctional center.
Sure.
So, if the matter is, pressed on and prosecuted, and then it gets to the correctional center, there are platforms and programs tailor-made to addressing some of this concern. And if probably realize his lesson and then show him the path as to pursue, of course, because his action, if it actually backfired, it will probably do a disservice to the Association of Medical Practitioner, Association of Nigeria, and many other related or affiliates of such association. Otherwise, we'll probably not be discussing the matter. But the point is just that, yes, it may look so difficult in the wake of economic downtime we're experiencing. Things are never fair, system is corrupt. You just do not, give into doing that which is wrong. Oftentimes, that's our, drive here and our encouragement here. That, yes, give it every shot it requires. Just ensure that you're on the path of doing that which the law says is right. And stay off and stay clear of terrains that has been prohibited not to operate. Otherwise, you just find yourself in the other side of the law.
Okay, so we hope that the law will take its course and the needful will be done. And the next story from Kano State. The Kano State Governor, Abba Yusuf, has signed the Kano State Premarital Health Screening Bill into law, making it mandatory for all prospective couples to undergo premarital health screening. The law aims to reduce the likelihood of children being born with health issues such as sickle cell anemia, HIV/AIDS, and hepatitis. No wedding will be permitted in Kano without the presentation of the health screening certificates for genotype, hepatitis B and C, HIV/AIDS, and other related illnesses. Violators of the law may face 5 years imprisonment, a fine of 500,000 or both. Governor Yusuf stated that the law would uphold the sanctity of marriage and ensure the birth of healthy children. The law will come into effect on May 13, 2024, and individuals intending to marry must undergo testing for HIV, hepatitis B and C genotypes, and other relevant tests before marriage, as well as present as a test certificate from government-approved health facility. Well, this is a good one from Governor Yusuf. Coming up with this idea because as of last week, there was a statistics that a lot of children are born with HIV/AIDS, and they don't even know anything about that. And this keep increasing because this is something you came up with. Definitely, you will make relationship after a while, and it's going to be a serious problem in society, which is actually one. And now, Mr. Wells, Governor Yusuf said, no more marriage without undergoing all of these tests. We know that our mothers then, in the 20th centuries, they didn't care about all these tests, but they just got married. So you see a lot of children with, is it beriberi, and then HIV and all of those, so different kind of sicknesses and illnesses. And today they have come up with this idea. What did you think about Governor Yusuf's initiative? And again, are they going to pay for all of this? Because there are so many persons who are not financially buoyant that to do this test, even if it's 10,000, they will tell you is a whole lot.
All right, it's a laudable initiative, and what is expected of any leader or government to be proactive, considering a trend that is worrisome, far more becoming a public health concern bill to venture into such endeavors, to raising a family. And it seems one may want to narrow it down that is it not just two lovebirds who probably, it goes beyond that, because the ripple effect will be a public concern for the state. And oftentimes, as some of your questions you put out will always be, what do you think government should do? What's the role of government? These are some of those laudable things that we government should do to be futuristic, driven, a possible pattern to which a movement is going that might actually becoming a public concern. So the screening level or the elementary level, get it arrested, nip it at the bud. If you have affection for it, down, you've seen that, look, you can move on, you can start up a family or a future with this person's. These are prerequisite conditions. You know, in the southern part of this, religion circles and organizations are now beginning to, you know, see the importance of conducting some of these tests, so that you just don't subject, you know, yourself based on the ground of ignorance into a lifelong suffering, because it is best that you address it and tackle it at the very early stage before it becomes a all-comers affair. Now, you will not only be the person that's, you know, be managing that condition. It can be a family thing, extended family, communal, and then the state itself has a responsibility to ensure that the citizenry have the best of life, you know, devoid of drama.
Okay, so this is a good one, just like you've stated that which one is better, is in the long-term suffering or the short one. But those people that have sickle cell anemia, what happened to them? You know, because majority of them will want to have a family.
The bill also ensured that the stigma is, you know, nip in the bud, that even those who have come down with some of this condition, there is an acceptance package enshrined in that law as to how they are to be treated. They are to be treated with respect, and then, you know, with dignity, and also ensuring that the support is rally around to ensuring that they help them, you know, manage already that line. But basically, it's not a death sentence condition. It can be managed. And there again, as I said, programs and advance in technology are in place to help persons who probably, you know, is living with this to actually live a better life. And if it is also the other condition, which is HIV or AIDS, there are also management sequence of, you know, program to help persons with this, you know, status to live a fulfilled life and even achieve purpose. It's just all about perception. It's also all about awareness. It's all about enlightenment. It's all about involve. So, as I said, the forum may not actually allow us to go into those details. But basically, in their various corners and
manages until you get in there. So do you think all the 36 states should come up with this law to be able to help people? Because, of course, the issue of all these underlying illness that children are suffering for what you should not know anything about is actually alarming in our country.
You know, what necessitated the action or decision of government is because of a staggering figure associated with offspring, families within that space. So you attempt to take courses and programs that will address some of these things. And then you know that based on, it is a public awareness and public concern that, you know, necessitated the action of the government, the governor, and other stakeholders. That within the circumstance, it's a reality. What do we do? Compared to some other area where the statistics may be very low, but basically it's a laudable one that one of the factor that is helping the statistics to go up is that area of starting a new family. So if that area is addressed, it's not that it's the final solution, because there will still be some persons who probably have premarital sex, and of course, you know, unwanted pregnancies, and then you still come down to the basics. So, so it's all-encompassing. Is a concern of the government, and then the government is, you know, over time, as I always say, when new policies or program is introduced, over time you do a recheck and see the progress, monitor the progress level, and then if there are variations or improvement needed to be done, then you probably go around it. So good enough if the other state wants to emulate, but it still boils down on, is this the same statistics that is, you know, reading or rolling out from Kano that is also obtainable elsewhere? If it is not, there are other many, you know, concerns and challenges that is demanding or competing for government's attention.
Well, I think it's not really the statistic that is actually rolling out over there, because, like I said, last 2 weeks, NAPTIC actually came up with a kind of statistics that about, I think that was 2-point-something million children in Nigeria are actually suffering from all these underlying illnesses. So I think the governor of Kano State has actually taken it upon himself to make sure that he is able to curb this menace, and other states can, because they didn't actually give statistics that is from Kano State or from River State or from so on. It was a general stuff. So I think if other state governors decide to emulate these steps, it's really going to be a good one. This is Society Watch on Atlantic Television Network. We return after this break. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Society Watch on Atlantic Television Network, and to the rest of our stories on finance. The Central Bank of Nigeria has directed banks to halt charges on cash deposits until September 30, 2024. This directive underlines in a circular date May 6, 2024, signed by the Director of Banking Supervision, Adetuna Adedejo J, follow concern raised by customers about banks startling on collect proceeding fees for cash deposit as of May 1st. The previous charge of 2% on the deposit about 500,000 for individuals and 2% on deposit about 3 million naira for corporate account holders have been suspended. The CBN instructed financial institutions to accept all cash deposit from the public without any charges until the end of September 2024. Mr. Wells, I don't know if I should say this is a good news because a lot of Nigerians, including you, we have been lamenting the level of charges. Honestly, you just keep seeing unnecessary charges that you don't understand. And then the CBN is saying that they should hold all kind of charges, maybe 500 corporate accounts, all of those. They should hold on for the meantime until September, which is quite a long distance. Do you think this is going to affect the bank sector?
Well, for me, it's not a good news because it's neither here or there. Because the point is the policy upon which the directive is to halt on is that for individual deposit and corporate deposit. So if your deposit literally is not up to 500,000, you will not be charged. It does not overboard 500 for individual. And so for me, it's just to woo in and encourage heavy duty deposit because of to redirect cash deposit flow from the POS operators so that the bank can actually, because queries have been as to that why is the ATM and the banks not working. You see a few steps away from the bank premise, and then you see a POS operator having access to cash that literally the bank's supposed to. So then the bank has its own argument and say those who come around for heavy deposit now sell off, like some of the oil and gas related, and those who do high volume transaction that has to do with cash. So instead of them bringing the cash to the bank, they sell to the POS operators. So why go to bank when I can sell it out? Or some of them are also operators. So it's just a ploy to, encourage that channel of moving the money that's supposed to come into the bank, moving it out so that people can actually be encouraged, because it's still not going to be effective because if we're still going to spend hours in bank and where someone has actually deduced a channel or a way that some person will come to you and collect the cash and then they will pay you for collecting the cash as against you, taking transport to the bank, queue, or go to the bulk room, they count one by one, etc., losing man hour, and also wasting business opportunity that probably will be waiting for you while you are doing high volume cash deposit. Of course, you will not be charged. But those who are doing less than the approved figure, it's neither here or there. To them, it's business as usual. But those who do high volume cash deposit, good enough, because it is apparently not all POS operator that can actually handle certain volume of cash. Otherwise, it's an open invitation to boys of within the neighborhood who know how to answer questions, and then you begin to answer those questions without, you know what I mean. So basically, these are some of the things to it. So me, it's not, it's a story of, it's just a story of neither here or there. Until government and its attendant agencies do something to reducing some of these charges, then we may probably be thinking of having to sing hallelujah.
So do you think it will have any way of affecting these small, medium businesses? And again, I remember I spoke with these ATM operators, one of them. I was able to have a conversation, and then he was like that they actually they actually go to buy this money, because I was wondering how did you people get money when the ATM is not working, and then you have to go into bank, and then he told me that you have to buy 10,000 with 1,000 naira. Have you heard of something like that?
That's what I'm saying. I said, like, those who do high volume, you know, cash deposit. Why should I go and take my money painstakingly to the bank when I have a channel of selling same money and I'll be paid? So the policy is just to encourage
them to bring it back?
You know, to bring it down to the bank.
And you think that is going to happen?
Yes, to a certain extent. I said I've captured that in my analogy, that certain high volume deposits is highly sensitive, and then you probably don't want to give out classified information, you know, that will like church organizations, in very heavy ones. I know some bank officials do go there and pick up some of these guys. So volumes of such, you can't take it to the POS. How many POS are you going to service, you know? So basically, let's see how it plays with whatever intention they intend to achieve with that. But for those lower players or lower deposits, neither here or there. But high volume, yes. And you know, so a recent policy transfer on cyber link, you know, deposit or transfer. You know, you're just trying to a little less here than you collect here. When we were discussing last week, we talked about government giving you something. Just be sure that in the next couple of hours there will be a channel of collecting it back.
All right, let's look at the last story for today. Multi-Choice Nigeria has challenged the jurisdiction of the Competition and the Consumers Protection Tribunal in Abuja, which restrained it from increasing the price of its DSTV and GoTV packages. The company's lawyer filed an application challenging the tribunal's jurisdiction and also filed a memorandum of conditional appearances. The tribunal adjourned the matter until May 16 for a hearing. Meanwhile, Festus Onifade, who filed a suit against MultiChoice, sought contempt at charge against the manager of MultiChoice Nigeria Limited for alleged disobedience to the court order. Onifade also sought an order for MultiChoice to pay 1 billion naira for deliberately disobeying the interim order restraining it from increasing tariffs. He credited instances of MultiChoice disobeying court order in the past. The tribunal had earlier made an interim order restraining MultiChoice from increasing its tariff, scheduled to begin on May 1st, pending the hearing and determination of the substantive suit. Mr. Wells, the issue of MultiChoice coming up with the idea of increasing their tariff is not a new thing, and of course so many Nigerians are thinking of falling out of DSTV because of the increment, and court actually gave an order that they shouldn't go ahead with their initiative, with their plans. But as it stands now, of course, a lawyer has come up here to say that they have to pay 1 billion naira for disobeying court order. What do you think about that? I mean, this is someone's business, and they choose to do what they want to do. This is Nigeria. What's your intake? What's your take on this?
All right, I think it's because of lack of highly competitive terrain that is making this cable pay TV to insist on service. In 2015 there was a review, in 2019 there was upward review, in 2021 there is upward review, and also in 2022 there's also upward review, and then this one. So in all of these, you probably want to see that why this continues and it appears unabated, and also they have been notorious for disregarding and flouting court orders, you know, restraining it to do an upward review, considering the fact that the matter oftentimes are not is before the court. But I think we just have to, for me, for example, I have stepped off patronizing them, because you know, there's a campaign going on that we just have to, you know, look out for alternatives. The essence of, you know, times will not number. There's an advocacy that why can't you come up with pay as you go, you know, scheme, Why is it that just one-off subscription, whether you access all the services provided or not, you end up just like the old days of prepaid, like for electricity, where you do a prepaid meter and then you have an estimated bill. In an estimated bill, whether you use light, you're going to pay. Whether there is no light, you're going to pay. But in a prepaid technology intro, it's what you use that you pay for. There have been cries without number that this organization should introduce the pay-as-you-go platform tariff so that customers and consumers will be happier. The reason why this is still, you know, on the table of debate is because there is no veritable competitor that can apparently put them, you know, to the check. And the regulatory government is also a handicap, because if the consumer seems so comfortable with the service rendered, then what can the regulator do? So basically, except which, you know, we take it and say it's a no-no, that this cannot continue. We deserve a better treatment. If you cannot come up with a pay-as-you-go, you know, system, then it's as good as, you know, taking us for a ride. Because at the end of the day, you make all the inflows. I can agree that the times are very interesting, but there again, everybody's making adjustment. It's a win-win situation. If you cannot see us as counterpart partners, then it's as good as telling us that we don't have options, so we have to comply. And it has to stop. Somebody has to just, you know, stand up the